So apparently the government actually thinks most of the Kenyans are very stupid. Wanadhani kwamba Kenyans really don't understand about their rights. Kenyans don't understand the constitution. Most of the Kenyans are unlearned. Now that's what actually the government is thinking, and that's what the government is thinking about everyone, kwa sababu kama serikali ingekuwa inafuata the constitution of which the government should be operating under the constitution, then ingekuwa everything will be okay as per now, kwa sababu being a president na realizing kwamba people don't like you or people don't want you to be in the seat, with all due respect, the only thing that you can show the people, because the people is the government, not the president, the people are the one who are controlling the government. So the only respect that you can show the people is you being the leader, just respecting the decision of the people and just backing off. We can say, or we can take example of the Bangladesh prime minister. Actually, after more than 400 people died, the best thing that she did for the country to show them that, hey, it's okay, I'm leaving the seat, I'm leaving you guys to just organize yourself, I'm leaving you guys to arrange the country, and I'm stepping out, was for her to just resign. And that's what Ruto was supposed to do, because having a demonstration now, more than let's say more than 10 people, more than 20 people lost their lives during the protest, and most of them were actually killed by the police, by the Kenyan police. Most of them were innocent, and most of them were not even in the protest, but they were just the mistake that was happening really caught up with them, and they lost their lives. Now kitu ambacho President Ruto angefanya, for him to show kwamba ana respect the people of Kenya, for him to show kwamba ana respect the government, ange resign as the president. That's the only thing that Mr. Ruto angefanya, kwa sababu yeye akikuwa trying to being like, ani yeye he's assuming that kuna watu ambao wana push these demonstrations. Ruto is assuming kwamba like he doesn't trust kwamba people don't like him, and haamini kwamba anaweza ingia kwa kiti, then he won't be able to finish the 5 years, watu wamtoe. It's never happened to any president of the Kenyan of the Republic of Kenya. So for Ruto, he feels like, no, why should I resign? I can't resign. When I resign, the opposition would have win. Now that's what he thinks. When I resign, I'll be the weakest president of all the president of this government of Kenya, and when I resign, like I would have lost a lot of meaning, like he will be useless. Now that's what Ruto really thinks, kwamba mimi siwezi resign, mbona ni resign? Umeelewa? Like mimi nilishinda na watu walinichagua, na mimi nimeshinda, na mimi siwezi toka. Nikitoka itakaa ni kama nimepoteza. Umeelewa? Kwa sababu ukiangalia the history of Kenya, hakuna president ambao wananchi walimfanya akatoka. Like he will be the first one, na he can't accept that, not realizing kwamba people, okay, inaweza kuwa this time maybe chama cha Ruto kilishinda kura, but kilishinda through we can say fraud, because what he was preaching and what he was selling to people is not the same thing that he's doing right now. Totally different things. Like I really wish kwamba angekuwa at least anafanya vitu ambavyo anaongea. Like seriously, he's really taking us for granted. Like he's really taking Kenya for granted. He's been in the government for the last almost 20 years, kwa sababu alikuwa before, he was the deputy, he did nothing. He promised he will build some soccer field, I think. He's never done that. Him with Uhuru promised laptops, they never did that. Like he promises. Now this is the problem with the leaders, with these politicians. They think that Kenyans are just there to listen to their lies, to just receive their lies and just say nothing, because what can I say? What can Kenyans do? They can do nothing. Why can they do nothing? Because I have this army, because I have this police, because me as the president, I'm the commander in chief. Me as the president, I can do whatever I want to do. Me as the president, I can command whatever I want to command. Now, that's taking Kenyans for granted, because you are elected there. We are following the constitution, and most of the Kenyans actually understand the constitution. So kama hutafata constitution, the best thing that you can do, and the best thing that you can just do for this country, is just step aside, accept kwamba umeshindwa kufanya chenye kimekuingiza kwa ofisi. This government promised, the biggest thing is when you deal with food, I think every other thing will be organized on its own, because chakula kikiwa kinapatikana, then mwananchi wa kawaida anaweza ka afford vitu vya kawaida. That's including maybe just unga, sukari, mafuta. Those are just the basic things that a common mwananchi requires in his or her daily life. Akipata zile zikiwa affordable, then all these other things the people just watajipanga, umeelewa? Lakini if you put these things to be at a higher cost, you promised utadili na ukulima, you promised utaleta fertilizers, of which the fertilizers are all fake. Like seriously, Ruto said ataleta fertilizers. He did that, but the fertilizers end up kuwa kwamba ni mbaya. Now people complain. Now what did he say? Like he said he compensated all those farmers. Now what's that? That mean hiyo inamaanisha kwamba he knew the fertilizers were fake. He knew the fertilizers damaged the crops of the farmers, but the only thing that he can do actually is just to say, I paid them back their money of the fertilizer. Seriously, which kind of business is that? Being the president, being the leader of a country that is well respected in Africa or in the world, that shows how these politicians are actually playing with us. Ruto thinks kwamba kuna watu ambao wako behind this protest. That's not true. Huo sio kweli kabisa. Hii shida haijaanza leo, hii shida haijaanza juzi. Hii shida pengine imeanza kitambo, tangu times za Kenyatta. It's fine. Watu wazee watasema, no, the Gen Zs don't understand what's the reality of this country. But let me just say this, we don't care about the history and the reality of this country. We care about the future of this country. We cannot follow the history and continue with the history, because it's the history. Hatutakuwa tuna have the same leaders every time, the same people organizing themselves in different positions in the cabinet, in the government. Huyu ametolewa kwa ukulima, amepelekwa kwa transport. Huyu wa transport ametolewa kwa transport, amepelekwa kwa minister of finance. No, that EO makes sense. Now that's wasting us. When we say Ruto must go, it means kwamba he really must go. Like it's time up. It's really time up. It's a time kwamba the world is changing. Since COVID-19, a lot has changed. Since COVID-19, people realized kwamba the government can fuck us up. Since COVID-19, we realized kwamba these politicians are not with us, but they are there for themselves. Kwa sababu they didn't even support the common mwananchi. Like it was hard even to get the vaccine, of which the vaccines were all fake. Because coronavirus was all fake. It was a scam. Like a scam created by the big nations. When I say big nations, I include the United States of America, China, Russia, the France, all those countries were the ones who are behind all this shit. So when we say Ruto must go, we totally know what we are doing, because He wants to take over and control everything in this country. He wants to bring dictatorship in this country. And the youths and the young people understand everything, because the youths know what is going around this world. With just a phone, you can know what's going on in Russia, you can know what's going on in China, you can know what's going on in Ukraine, you can know what's going on in Afghanistan, So we also know kwamba these deals ambazo Ruto anafanya na different countries, what zita cost kwa hii country. That's why the old people won't understand, kwa sababu maybe kuna mahali wana benefit, but at the same time they don't know, and they don't know the reality of the future of this country, kwa sababu Ruto making deals with countries like United States of America, Ruto making deals with different countries that are out there, instead of building this Kenya being just Kenyan, being an African country that is independent. He's still making deals with the people who colonized this country, with the people who colonized Africa. And he thinks that those people are still in best interest of this country. Seriously. We are not that stupid, and we won't accept to be taken as fools. We won't accept to sell this country. We won't accept people to just be there and do deals that they will benefit themselves. Because since mpaka leo, when this Ruto thing said hustler fund or hustler, what did he do? He went up and organized himself with Safaricom. He created his own transaction app, that's Hustler Fund. Now what is Hustler Fund doing? Inakopesha mwananchi na mwananchi analipa, na pesa zenyewe si pesa za maana, with the biggest interest. So what Ruto is doing actually, ako biashara. Like Ruto ako biashara, and he's making money through the Hustler Fund. He's making money through consuming from the people, because he knows what he's doing. He wants to be rich. He wants to be among the richest president. He wants to benefit from being a president. He wants to consume everything. Like, which leader mwenye akona interest ya wananchi anaingia na anatengeneza biashara zake? Seriously, Hustler Fund. Hustler Fund inasaidia nani? Unajua Hustler Fund ni kama M-Pesa. So that nigga is actually just earning, even if it's the lowest shilling, but he will keep on earning, because we really don't know the contract between him and Safaricom and how long Hustler Fund is going to last, So what Ruto is doing is very wrong. If he respected this country and he knew that he's not in charge of this country, but the people are, he will have stepped down. After all those people that died, because he's not a leader. He's not at good interest of this country. He's trying to show it. He's trying to be rude. He's trying to show Kenyans that, hey, hamtafanya kitu, mimi ndio kusema. No, it doesn't go that way. Na kwa sasa penye tumefikia, the Kenyan people are not intimidated, and they're actually fearless. We don't fear anything, Mr. President. We don't fear anything, Mr. President. If it's dying, we all gonna die, and we die once, we die once, and we won't accept this country to go down. This is the country, this is the space that we found ourselves in. This is the place that God created us in, and we should be proud as Kenyans that we are Kenyans. We should be proud as Tanzanians that we are Tanzanians. We should be proud as Ugandans that we are Ugandans. We should be proud as South Africans that we are South Africans. We should be proud as Ethiopians that we are Ethiopians. We should be proud as Sudan. We should be proud as Africa. Because Africa is where we come from. Africa is where we come from. And Africa is our heritage. And Africa is our reach. And these leaders won't make us poor and make us bow down to them by building their empires and making us bow down to them and worship them. They are not God. And we are not going to worship anyone. We are not going to go down and beg anyone, because we are going to fight for this Africa. God is not stupid. God is not stupid. God had a very good plan. We can't say that African people are cursed. They may be cursed somehow, because the curse that is in between us is the curse of we don't want unity. We don't want togetherness. These leaders are trying to control us, are trying to bring policies in Africa that are not our policies. When God created the Europe, maybe the white people, let's say he made them superior, but he made them superior for a reason at that time. Now it's time for Africa, and it means a lot, because we Africans should know that how and what challenges that the European nations or the other continents challenges they already had, so that we cannot accept the same challenges in this continent. You know, we know what's going on in all of those countries, and we can't accept that in Africa. Let them fight, let them have the world war, but don't include Africa in it. Let them break out the viruses, how they want to break out the viruses, but it won't be in Africa, because when coronavirus came out, we all Africans should know what really happened, because they say that when this virus comes to Africa, all Africans will die, because they don't have proper medical facilities. They are very poor, and they all will perish. But God is there for Africa, because no one perished. None of us really perished more than they did perish. So God is there for us, and we should be there for ourselves. We can't accept leaders to keep on bringing policies from other countries or other continents to Africa. Seriously, we've been down for too long, Africa. It's time to raise up. This Ruto thing, he was the one that spoke that he's going to make Africa one, but he's not doing that. Actually, he's actually selling this country. He's actually accepting people to come on this country, make business with him for personal profits for himself and for the people that he knows, because there's no reason or there's no benefit why he took the people of Africa, the people of Kenya, the soldiers of Kenya, and took them to Haiti. That didn't make sense at all. But because of the deal that he was going to receive, the amount of money that he was going to receive from the Haiti government, from the European Europe Union, the money that he was going to receive, that's why he accepted to sell our children, to sell the people of Kenya to that country. And we are not slaves anymore. We ain't doing slave anymore. We should wake up. He's saying that he's organizing jobs outside Kenya, maybe in Dubai, maybe in Saudi Arabia, maybe in Europe, maybe in USA. But you know what kind of jobs he's organized for our children, for the children of this continent, for the children of Africa, for the children of Kenya? He's making us go there and be slaves in another country. And he's proud that I'm going to send workers. Which workers, Mr. President, are you sending outside of this country? Can you please just tell us? We ain't stupid, Mr. President. We are not stupid. Please tell us which kind of workers are you sending to the other nations? Are they nurses? Are they doctors? Are they engineers? Are they teachers? No, they aren't. You're going to sell our children to other countries, and when problems or anything bad happens to them, you want to be accountable. You want to be responsible to bring them back home safe. How sure are you they will be safe? When COVID happened, when the Kenyans were out there, when they were crying to come back home because home was much more safe than out there, what was the response of the government of Kenya? What did the ambassadors do? Nothing, So we can't accept to sell our children out of this country and say that they are going to have a better life out of their motherland. No, we are going to create this Kenya, and the people from that side shall be coming this side. It's not time for us to keep on going that side, because actually that side, it's really worse. The policies are worse. The life is worse. They make them seem like it's a good place, but really we should be building our own Africa. We should be building our own homes. We should be building Africa. We should be building Kenya. We are the richest continent in this world, and that's for sure, because all these countries, France, USA, England, all these countries were built through the products of Africa, including the gold, the diamonds, all the minerals, the oil. It's from Africa, So we Africa should be one. And Mr. President, you should not use Kenyans. You should not use our resources to sell this country. That's why we say Ruto must go. And he really must go, because it's time for him to go. We are done. We are changing everything. Everywhere in Africa, they're trying to make one Africa. Till today, people still know that Gaddafi was a very bad person, but Gaddafi really wanted to unite this Africa to be one continent. And you know what really happened? The outside countries really feared what would have happened, because when Africa comes as one, all the others continent will bow down to Africa. And that's God's plan. That's God's plan. Africa is not cursed. Africa is not stupid. Africa is the richest continent. Africa should be united. And that's the biggest and the toughest examination that we all have in our hands, to make it 100% for the future generation. Not for this generation, but for the future generation. We have the best atmosphere. We have the best places in Africa. We are the richest. I don't know why we should leave our own continent and go to the other continent, instead of changing this continent. And we should change this continent by eliminating all corrupt leaders, because they're the ones who are selling this country, because they're the ones who want us to continue being slaves, because they are receiving endorsements from other countries, from other continents, to keep on making us fools. We ain't fools no more, Mr. President. We ain't fools no more. The Gen Z, by the meaning of the Gen Z, it means the generation Z, the last generation, Z. A to Z, after Z, there's no other letter. Z is the last letter. So this is the last generation. And the last generation has to make a change for the future generation that will start with an A, if we make the change right now. Enough is enough. All said, we should deliver and liberate this country of Kenya. We are tired of being used. We are tired of leaders telling us what to do. We are tired of leaders playing mind games. We are tired of leaders trying to fix everything, but they're really fixing for themselves. I know someone will say, mbona tushindane na serikali, kila mtu tu achana nao wafanye mambo yao, acha mimi nifanye mambo yangu. But let me tell you this. When you think that you are not going to interfere with what the government is doing, it will just catch up with you very soon. It may not be you, but it will be for your children. You're not doing this for you. You are doing this for your generation, children. You are doing this for the future of your children. You are doing this for the future of your grandchildren. You are doing this for the future of the people of your family line, because you will not be here in the next 100 years, but your family members will be here in the next 100 years. So what would you have done to make a better life for them? That's what we are all looking forward. Not doing this for us. We are doing this for the future. So Mr. President coming out and being angry and saying those fearless, those those people who are sending these people, they should bring and they should come forward and say what they want. No, stop creating drama. We are telling you what you want, Mr. President. The game is over. Yeah, everyone shall die, including you. But we are not dying as cowards. We are dying as people who tried and who will fight for this country. So, hashtag Ruto must go. And from hashtag Ruto must go, it's Ruto must go, and every politician must go that is corrupt, and every leadership that is corrupt must go, and every stupid ideas that they have must go, and we should stand by our constitution, and we should follow the law, and we should obey the law. If they don't obey the law, we people and with the government, we shall do it by force. Using the police, I think the police cannot count the number, cannot replace the number of people that are in this country. I think the police are in less number compared to the people of this country. So we are ready to fight. We are ready to be in the front line, including doing it online, doing it in the street, and doing it everywhere. Just supporting this message and sending this message everywhere till it reaches where it's supposed to reach. Hashtag Ruto must go. Hashtag this is new Africa. Hashtag it's time for Africa. Hashtag Africans are not stupid. Hashtag Africa rise up. Thank you.